So you can see all these tabs I have open. It's Prismatic Evolutions. That's what I'm talking about today. But I want to give you, I guess, my advice. Now I'm using air quotes because, I've always said this about Prismatic. I don't want to advise, right, buying at these prices. But when I'm looking at everything right now in the market, obviously you can go back to Sword and Shield to invest because it's out of print and that stuff's safe. Like, yeah, everyone knows that. But for ultra modern, we're talking about Scarlet and Violet era stuff. It's really hard to recommend buying anything because when you look at every single booster box, other Elite Trainer boxes of like specialty sets, it's really hard to say what to buy. Scarlet and Violet base is like $200 for a booster box. Yeah, you could say to buy that because it's probably not going to get reprinted. Sure. We have Paldea Evolved booster boxes, which are like 220. They're getting reprinted. Obviously, probably won't do much, but still, since that's coming, probably don't want to buy that. Obsidian Flames booster boxes around $200. It's getting reprinted. Probably don't want to buy that. Paradox Rift, I believe, is like around 170, 180. That's a possible buy. It's not getting reprinted, at least in that wave of the other reprints. So maybe that's a possible buy. We got Temporal Forces. It's now in the mid 180s. It's not getting reprinted too. Maybe a possible buy, but still, it's pretty expensive. And keep going on. Twilight Masquerade getting reprinted. They're in the 220s. Not a good buy. We have Stellar Crown, not getting reprinted, but still very new. I think it's around is it 190, 200 around there? That's not a really good buy for Stellar. Surging Sparks getting reprinted, same thing. And then we have, the specialty sets. We have 151. I mean, possibly maybe the bundles are a buy because those have gotten reprinted multiple times. That could be a decent buy, but Elite Trainer boxes are over 200. Like, I mean, at that point, is it worth buying? Who knows? Because that's pretty expensive. And then Paldean Fates. Paldean Fates is like $120. That's pretty expensive for what it is. And then Shrouded Fable. So it's really hard to say what to buy. Going through all those sets, right? They're all expensive. All of them have chance of getting reprinted. Some are getting reprinted. There's nothing to really invest into right now. You could, like I said, you can go back to Sword and Shield and say it's not getting reprinted. Like, everyone knows that. But if we're talking about Scarlet and Violet, I will keep preaching this because I truly believe right now we're still on the edge before the next leg up for Prismatic. And my advice, air quotes, because I don't want to advise you guys to buy it, but I'm doing it. Prismatic Evolutions, in my opinion, is the best investment, which I'm kind of, short term here because, long term, even long term would probably still be fine. But as of right now, in my opinion, the best place to put your money is Prismatic. And my advice would be to go on Facebook Marketplace. People are still able to scalp these. People are still finding them at Targets. And I have been able to buy these products for well under market. For example, recently I bought more binders. You guys know how much I like binders, right? Right now, market price for these anywhere from 75, $80. I was able to pick them up in the mid 50s. So, and I did it on Facebook Marketplace. So that's why my advice would be to buy, because I'm doing it, Prismatic Evolutions locally on Facebook Marketplace. Yes, you are supporting the scalpers, boohoo, whatever, right? But when you're able to buy from scalpers, because these scalpers, they want quick money, they're not thinking about, long term, short term, whatever. They're buying it, instantly selling it. You can get some pretty heavy discounts on these products. And that's why I have bought so much of this, is because I'm looking at the market. I still think Prismatic is undervalued. I see it going up more. I'm like, okay, I can buy for well under market for Prismatic. And every other product in Scarlet and Violet, I can't do that. All these other products, you have to basically buy at market because they're older, they're a little bit more scarce, they're not scalpable because they're not, on shelves, they're not getting restocked. And some of them are getting reprinted, and those still have possibilities like Paradox, Temporal, Stellar, those could get reprinted too. So it's like, you think of all these factors, it's like the best place in my opinion is Prismatic, because Prismatic Evolutions is not getting printed into the ground in the next few months, right? It's not going to happen. Will they reprint in the future? Sure. But Prismatic, being how expensive it is, the cards, the popularity for the set, and it's relatively new, I feel like this is the safest place to put your money for the next at least few months, where it's probably not going to get printed into the ground because it probably is not even possible. So that would be my biggest advice, I guess, in this market. In my opinion, the best place to put your money is to buy locally on Facebook Marketplace, Prismatic Evolutions. That's my biggest advice because guess what? That's exactly what I've been doing. I haven't bought anything other than Prismatic Evolutions in the past like few months. That's all I've been buying. I guess one product I have bought that I actually have in hand right next to me is a Terapagos UPC. One of my orders actually did get canceled, so I only have one of them. Honestly, I'm probably not gonna open it. I'm just gonna keep it, whatever. I just have one of them, but yeah, other than that, literally just Prismatic I've been buying because I'm able to get them for a lot under market in person, and I see this going much higher, and I don't think it's getting reprinted into the ground. Even if it does later, maybe 6 months down the road, I don't think it's going to do that much. If you're looking at like 151, for example, how much booster bundles have gotten reprinted in other products, I mean, it's still very strong. So I'm going to go over each of these products of Prismatic Evolutions, telling you guys how much I've been able to kind of find them for and why I think they're still great pickups. So, Prismatic Evolutions binder collections, you guys know I just said in the mid 50s. I've been able to buy them sometimes like around 60 bucks. I still think that's a good pickup. I mean, it's still a decent amount under market. And I'm looking at the supply for these, and they're selling still pretty consistently around 10 to 20 every single day. And I'm looking at supply, they are going to hit mid 80s here, it looks like pretty soon. So when we go to the third page here, you can see the amount of listings. This it goes up to 80. It takes around, there's some listings here that have like around 20, but if we count, there's around 40 listings on here, around 80 bucks. And then the next page is when it hits around like low 80s. I don't know how much supply is here, maybe like 30. So what is that? 30 plus like 70 boxes or whatever. Then we hit around mid 80s. So I think probably gonna take another few weeks. But if you can still buy these for around 60 bucks, or even if you're able to get lucky and find them in the mid 50s, I mean, you think about it hitting 85 bucks in a few weeks, and if you're buying it 60 bucks, I mean, that's pretty good. So that's what I see in the binder collections. Even still, I think long term these will perform extremely well because I really don't think these are getting reprinted. I'll keep saying it. So I think if you're able to pick up these, this is one of the best products in my opinion to buy. Next, ETBs. Now, ETBs I feel like are a really good product right now to buy for specialty sets because it just seems like they don't get reprinted. It's really strange why specialty set ETBs are not getting reprinted, but yeah, I've talked about my reasons why I believe that. But it's just really not happening. We see it with 151. There's a reason why those ETBs are over 200 bucks because they didn't really get reprinted. So Prismatic Evolutions, I've bought all of mine for 100 or under for ETBs, like around there, like around like around 100 bucks. It's basically impossible now to do that. Like I've been looking around my area, I can't really find any. But if you are able to find any ETBs for around 110 or under, I would say that's a pretty good buy. And if you're able to buy them around 100 bucks, I'd literally buy everything because, I bought from this one seller who had them. I bought their entire, amount because they had them for a very good price, and I just bought everything because I really don't think this is going to get reprinted very heavily if it even does because we haven't even seen 151 ETBs. Until I see that getting reprinted, I don't see how this is going to drop that much to the point where I feel like buying at 100 bucks around there is relatively safe long term looking at 151. So if you can find these for around that price, I think it's a great pickup considering also market price right now is above 140 bucks. Now next here with the surprise boxes, I've been able to buy these for around 55 to like 60 bucks. Not that much under market, but these are around 80 bucks, similar to like the binders, the prices. I think this is a really good product. I don't know if it's going to get reprinted when they do reprint Prismatic. It seems like they just reprint booster bundles. Like I always talk about it. They only really do that. I mean, Paladin Fate's booster bundles are getting reprinted. So considering that factor, I feel like these are really good to pick up as well if you can find them for around that 55 to 60 bucks because it does have that stamp promo. The Umbreon's worth a good amount. Has 4 packs, and it's a pretty cool box. So I think this product is pretty good, and I have some of these, and they're, in my opinion, a really good product. Next, the booster bundles. Now, I've talked about this one before. These get reprinted. Seems like a lot for specialty sets. It seems like it's the go-to product for Pokemon. I've been able to find these for around $60 is like the lowest I've been able to find them around my area. Other than that, like a lot of people are selling for 65, 70. You can't get that much of a discount for these. So buying at 60, I would say is probably the most I'd pay for these booster bundles because they do tend to get reprinted a lot. So you are running that risk. So I wouldn't pay more than $60. And even for me, $60 is sort of a hard buy because I know they get reprinted and I'm assuming they are going to get reprinted in the future based on 151 and other sets. So I think long term these will do extremely well, but short term I think these are going to go up and down a lot like we see 151 booster bundles doing. So those are my thoughts on booster bundles. I think they're great, but they get reprinted. Next here are mini tins. Now mini tins are a product that they're not great. Liquidity on these is they're not super high. There is collectability to the tins. They have that going for them, but these aren't like ETBs. They're not like binder collections. They're not as good. They're just okay. So I wouldn't go heavy into like products like mini tins, or I don't have here the poster collections, but those types of products and the text stickers I don't have up here either. I want to go super heavy into these types of products because they're not that great, but I've been able to find some around me for around $20. And if you can buy for $20, I mean, some of these are going for around $30 plus. That would be a good buy because then you're buying at a pretty good discount. But other than that, like the growth rate for these and already how expensive they are, I really wouldn't pay more than $20 for each of these, honestly, because they're already $30. I can't see them being like super expensive in the long run, like being $50 each mini tin. And if you're buying at market price at $30, it's not worth buying it. So these types of products I'm not a fan of. I don't buy to invest into these. I stick to the other products that I believe are way better. And also 2-pack blisters. I feel like these ones honestly could be a little bit more sought after because of the promo, the Pokemon Day Eevee promo with the reverse holo. I feel like this could be a little bit more valuable because of that. But still, it's like a 2-pack blister. Blisters do all right long term, but I would say this is maybe a little bit better than the 3-pack blister just because of the promo. But other than that, it's still one of those products where it's 2 3 packs. It's a blister. It'll do all right. I've been able to find some of these around my area for like $22 $23, but if you're considering market price for these, it's not that much under market. For Prismatic, I have to be buying, in my opinion, like at least 15% to 20% under market, and market price for these like $25. It's not worth it to me. Like for me to want to buy these and be worth it, I'd probably have to pay like $18 each or something because buying $22 when the market price is 26 and how much has to grow for it to be worth it for me, it's not really worth it. So some products are easier to find for under MSRP or under not under MSRP but under market. Like binders, I've been able to find a lot of ETBs back then a little bit, but a lot of these products they're kind of getting harder to find. So that's why, in my opinion, in my advice, Prismatic Evolutions locally is the best kind of buy right now, because everything else is very expensive, could get reprinted, and some are getting reprinted. So just talking about Prismatic once again, I just really think this is a buy that people in a few months from now, I think they're gonna regret because there's still people selling Prismatic under market locally. And for me, I've been taking advantage of it and I've been buying them all. So just want to talk about this once again. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.